Oh man, there really is nothing like the Stanley Cup playoffs. I've seen commercials that promote that slogan this year, but it's telling the truth. There really is nothing like the Stanley Cup playoffs. And quite honestly, last night proved that. And quite honestly, the yours truly, the hardcore puckhead, is kind of lucky to make it through last night. Oh my goodness. Can you believe the drama that unfolded last night? Game 7. From beginning to end, it was dramatic. And it was it was scoreless after one period. And then the first two goals of the game were scored within 20 seconds of each other. And ended up 1-1 after two. And then Pittsburgh um, took the lead, but then Ottawa tied it up with 5 minutes left. And you get this crazy overtime where people were shooting pucks left and right. It made a lot of sense though in the stats, but it seemed like each team had about 20 shots in the first 10 minutes alone. But oh man, it was a complete blast. And that's exactly what ended the game, a complete blast by Chris Kunitz, a dead-eye shot that even Craig Anderson couldn't handle. So Pittsburgh is back in the final thanks to Chris Kunitz's amazing goal. But I pretty much every hockey fan, every true hockey fan, pretty much have to give credit to the Senators. I mean, they they showed out. To say they had a terrific run would be an understatement. They really defied odds because I don't think a lot of people had the Senators getting this close to the final. Um, they took care of business the way teams usually take care of business. They score goals the right time, and their goaltender was just a brick wall. A lot of the games that they won, and when it came down to it, Pittsburgh was literally one shot better than the Senators. I said the better team did win, but let's face it, the Penguins weren't better by much. They were better by literally a hair over the Senators. Senators, oh man, they're gonna be back. They will. They're gonna be back. They're gonna be that pesky team that messes with good teams and gives them headaches. Those teams make watching games fun. But it was a great season for the Senators, but they just fell, was the late great as the late great Don Adams would say, they missed it by that much. Literally. So congrats again to the Penguins. They are back in the final. More on them a little bit later. Another big story: the Nashville Predators. The Predators. The they are. It's hard to. It's amazing. It's amazing. I was in junior high. I was in 8th grade when the Predators were established and debuted in 1998. Matter of fact, the Predators were the reason why the divisions had to realign from 4 divisions to 6. The Predators were placed in a smaller version of Central, and that led to the creations of the Northwest and Southeast divisions, which lasted until the 4 division realignment in 2013. And Nashville remained in this new look Central, along with the Avalanche and the Stars, the Wild, the Blues, the Blackhawks, and the Winnipeg Jets. And here it is 19 years later, and they're playing for the Cup. They are playing for the Stanley Cup. They're playing to win the Cup for the first time ever in franchise history. 19 years. That's not long. That's not really long in sports, but it's long enough. But it's just amazing. I still remember because I remember that season I had that. I bought an NHL yearbook, an NHL yearbook which recapped the 97-98 season. And I was reading about all the teams, and back then, that's how far I remember. The Nashville Predators page was basically about who the team had and what players the team had and drafted for the expansion draft, among other things. expansion team. An expansion team is basically playing for the cup, in my opinion, because that's what makes hockey so great. This team, and even better, PK Subban, his first year with the Predators, after Montreal for some ungodly reason traded him. He's in the final. I said this on Twitter a couple of times. The Canadiens should be kicking themselves. They really should. I don't know why they traded him. I mean, yeah, you hear all this BS. Oh, he's a distraction. This, that, and the other. Forget all that. PK Subban was the heart and soul of the Montreal Canadiens for years. I mean, he was basically the unsung leader of that team, even though he may not have been the best player of the team. But he was one of the best. But he was their heart and soul. And they decided to trade that to Nashville for Shea Weber. Now, granted, Shea Weber's no slouch. I mean, anybody who's seen a shot could pretty much attest to him being great. But come on. How could you just up and trade the guy that's been your heart and soul for years? Just like that. And now look where it got him. Montreal got their asses kicked in the first round by the New York Rangers. Meanwhile, PK Subban is 4 wins away from his first cup. So, and like I said, the Canadiens should be really kicking themselves. They really should. And like I said, they beat the Ducks out. They beat the Ducks in 6 games. They clinched the Clarence Campbell Bowl for the first time on this past Monday on their home ice. So that was a great series. They should. It's just, I'm just still blown by last night. It was an amazing series, but that part's over. We can now breathe for the next 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Sunday, and then get pumped up for the Stanley Cup Final. The Stanley Cup Final starts on Monday, Memorial Day, in Pittsburgh. Some fun facts, some Stanley Cup Final fun facts. Now that Nashville's in the final, there are only 4 teams left. I think it's 4. Yeah, there are only 4 teams left that have never played for the Stanley Cup. The Coyotes, the Wild, the Blue Jackets, and the Thrashers/Jets. Of course, the Coyotes, the original Jets, are the oldest of that team because of the oldest of those teams, because the original Jets were established in 1972. So this is basically technically their 45th season of existence, but they never played the Stanley Cup final. Those other 3 teams all came in a year or 2 years after the Predators did. The Thrashers were established in 1999. The Blue Jackets and the Wild were established in 2000. Of those four teams, only the Coyotes and the Wild have made it to the conference final, but they were both beaten by the local teams out here. The Wild lost to the Ducks in 2003, and the Coyotes lost to the Kings in 2012. And of course, there's another fun fact, and I've said this before. We have not seen back-to-back Stanley Cup champions since the Red Wings won cups in 97 and 98. Pittsburgh has the chance to break that trend. Question is, will they? The question is, will they? In my prediction, they will. My prediction for the final pens in 6. This is going to be a long series, but the Penguins are going to take care of it in 6 games. So you heard it here first. The Penguins will repeat. And with that is my review when I look back at the conference finals. Now, with that, let's all take a breath, breathe in, breathe out, and keep on doing that for the next 3 days, because the Stanley Cup Final is going to be crazy. So I'll be back with my review of that, and I'll congratulate the Stanley Cup champion. So until then, my fellow puckheads, good day.